Hello everyone, my name is Crystal and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, then hit that subscribe button because we're friends, we just haven't met yet.
Whenever you're down, out in the cold, faithless and dark, your story's untold. Come take my hand and walk there with me. I know a place where we can be free. There is a light shining for you, guiding your way, helping you through. And shadows and gloom are all that you see. We'll find a place where we can be free. From the mountain top down to the deepest valley, hear a voice calling you. It's the rising sun, shining in the darkest alley. Can't you see you will be free? I have been far, I have been wide, searching for peace, somewhere to hide. Now I am free, open and pure, fearless and babe. I am secure. There is no dark that can't be lit. We'll find a way if we just commit. We are one. There is no them and us. Together we're strong. Together we're free. From the mountain top down to the deepest valley, hear a voice calling you. It's the rising sun, shining in the darkest valley. Can't you see you will be free? Can't you see you will be free? You will be free.
Hello everyone. Let me know if you all can hear me okay. Sometimes I sound like I'm in a hole, and if I do, I won't know about it. Hey Michelle, hey Allie. I'm gonna call you Shay because I butcher your name. Welcome. Hey Duchess. Let me know, ladies, if y'all are able to hear me. Okay. Okay, tonight I'm going to be talking about Sebastian Rogers case. It is an active missing kids case out of Tennessee. And give me just a second here. Bear with me. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is a 15-year-old autistic Caucasian boy who was reported missing February the 26th, 2024 from his Stafford Court from the Stafford Court area of Hendersonville, Sumner County, Tennessee. Sebastian is 5'5". He weighs 113 pounds. He has sandy brown hair, brown eyes, and may be wearing glasses. Sebastian was last seen on February the 25th at 2024 at 9 p.m. when his mom saw him go to bed. He was wearing a long sleeve black shirt with a picture on the front of it, black track pants with white stripes down the side, and he had no shoes on. I was on a panel, and Duchess had Katie and Chris on, on her channel. She was the first one that was able to get an interview with them. They reached out to Duchess and wanted to share their story. Katie said that they had an awesome day that day, and they came home. Chris was in Memphis. Her and Chris was on the phone around 9 o'clock. She told Sebastian it was time to go to bed. He told her good night and that he loved her. And he went to his bedroom. And that was the last time that Sebastian was ever seen. We have heard countless speculation in this case, theories, but you all, that's what we know. That's the facts that we have. I think that it's sad that y'all going to have to bear with me, but I have tried to avoid every bit of the drama on the internet, and I've done pretty good at it. But when you see people going after parents of a missing kid, it's heartbreaking. We have no facts that says Katie, Chris, or Seth did anything. Not one shred of facts tells us they did anything. But you got people going out here after Sebastian's parents. I'm one of these people, I don't have no side. You see people on Seth's side. You see people on Katie's side. I'm on Sebastian's side. This boy deserves the best that we can give him. The very best. And when we fail to be able to look at this case and be able to put the facts out there, we are failing him. Now, when we see all kinds of drama around this kid's case, we see a lot of people talking about the drama. And the focus is took off of Sebastian. And the person that loses in this is Sebastian. We are all entitled to our opinions. But we are not all entitled to go out here and put those opinions as if they're facts online. You know, I saw quite a few creators seems to pick one side or the other, and anything in between is not allowed. I think that we can get tunnel vision when we do that. And Sebastian's who loses. He deserves our best. I don't pretend to know everything about this case because I don't. But I do know what I saw. I do know I saw people going after the parents, all three parents. I'm not just narrowing it down to one, but all three parents. And that's not right. It's not right. I've saw some disgusting things. We've got fake neighbors. We got fake friends. And now we got fake dog handlers. Can it get more disgusting? This kid deserves to have 110% of our focus. And if we are not willing to give him that, then we are failing him. I'm worried for everybody in this case. I really am. Because at the end of the day, no matter what we put out there, no matter what we say, it isn't directly affecting our life. We can walk away. They have to live with this every day. Yes, Duchess, it's bad. It's bad. Since I've had this channel, I've said that I'm not going to say on my channel today something that I can't live with tomorrow. And I firmly believe in innocent until proven guilty. In this case, we have no proof that foul play even happened. The title of my live is What If? So I'm going to ask you, from what we know, Sebastian liked to game. We realized that his restrictions on internet was not as strict at Seth's house as it was at Chris and Katie's house. So is it not possible that he could have met somebody online? Is it not possible? I think it is. Is it possible that he walked out the front door and maybe it turned into a crime of opportunity? I think it's very possible. Why is it when we hear about a missing case, our mind automatically goes foul play? There was a time that everybody said a kid couldn't go missing in a tent with its parents until it did. That was Cleo's case. And I remember when that happened, that was exactly what all YouTube was saying. There's absolutely no way somebody could kidnap that kid out of a tent with its mom and dad. But guess what? It happened. People drugged them for days. Drug them for filth. You know what I didn't see when they found that kid? I didn't see creators go online and apologize for the foul things that they had said beforehand. That didn't happen. Didn't happen at all. When Athena, out of, I think it was Texas, when she went missing in less than an hour, Facebook groups, YouTubers, they decided that was that stepmom. Had to be. They had an argument. She lost her temper and did something to that little girl. But it was a delivery driver that picked that kid up. Now, for hours, I watched this unfold on Facebook. When they found out what happened, though, there wasn't no apologies. There wasn't no 8-hour live streams where people were apologizing because they done had her strung up. That didn't happen. As a society, what does it say about us? That we can drag people sometimes for years And then when we're wrong, we don't stand up and say, I'm sorry. Yeah, they did. They went on to the next case. Yeah, you're right, Michelle. Tragedy pimps learn nothing. You know, this live, it is not going to be very long. It's not. I'm not here to defend anybody. That's not what my position is on YouTube. As far as facts goes, when you read this poster right here, you pretty much got all the facts that we have in this case. Sheila says, I remember Elizabeth Smart. She was taken from her bedroom. Thank God she was found alive 9 months later. There's hope for Sebastian. Yes. And I hold on to that. I hold on that there is hope for Sebastian. I pray for this kid every night that he is found safe. Some of the things that's been put on YouTube is disgusting. And then we sit back and we say we're for the kids. If you're not putting out facts, you're doing an injustice to Sebastian. Well, we're just speculating. This is all alleged. Well, if it turns out not the way that you allege that it could have happened, are you going to do 9-hour live streams correcting your audience? Are you going to say I was wrong? I went after innocent people, and during their worst time and their worst tragedy, I made it even worse. Are you going to do that? You're going to tell people who you are? And then you say, I'm praying for him. I love Jesus, but I'm going to tell you something. He sees you. He sees every foul, untrue, cruel thing that you say online. And just because you are behind a keyboard does not mean you won't stand in judgment for it. I'm going to be honest with you. Some of the creators on this platform, in this community, has disappointed me so bad. The very things, some of them I saw scream from the rooftops that they stood for. Not now. No. They're writing the chats, causing drama, dragging parents. Well, you may say, well, Crystal, what are you going to do if they're found guilty? I'll still pray for them. But you know what? I can live with myself better if I don't drag nobody, if I don't put false information out here. I can live with myself better like that than if I did. People can forgive you, but do you think for 5 seconds they forget what that was said to them? No. And the same people that want to sit back and talk about the Micah case and talk about how she was mentally abused, pushed to her breaking point. What do you think you're doing? What do you think you are doing when you fire up a live stream and drag parents that you don't know is guilty or innocent? You're no different. You're no different than her abusive husband. You might be a little bit worse. Because, I mean, he used the pulpit, but you're using a platform. The focus needs to be kept on this kid right here. And let me tell you something. I know tragedy. I do. But by all means, I am not the authority on it. I cannot sit back and tell you how these parents should be acting. I can speculate in my own mind. But to go public with that? No. That's not my job. That don't help this kid. It does nothing to find him. Hello, Heidi. So what do we know about Sebastian? He liked to play games. You know, a lot of people want to say, if you ask them what they know about Sebastian, a lot of you's going to come back with the same answer. He's 15 years old, autistic. That tells me one side of him. That don't tell me everything about him. I don't know about you all, but if I have some questions now, I want to know this kid. He liked to play games. He liked his puppies. He didn't like bugs. He could play chess as good as a grown-up. He had a silly side. And I'm not taking this from one parent. I'm taking it from the bits and pieces that I'm getting from all three. The day that he went missing, he had an awesome day, from what I can tell. From everything that I've heard. Went out to eat with his mom at Texas Roadhouse. Ate a colossal thing of popcorn. Went bowling. He came home. And about 9 o'clock, he went to bed. Around 10 o'clock, his mom heard a noise in there, said, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you need to go to bed. The next day was school. About 12 o'clock, she was dozing off on the phone with Chris. Duchess, if I'm wrong on any of this, correct me in the chat. The next morning, she gets up to wake him up, and he's not there. Chris was 3.5 hours away. Now, some things I do want to use a little common sense on. Can we do that? You know, I heard a live earlier today saying, well, Chris didn't want him around his daughter. He had a hearing coming up. Maybe he had to testify. Well, do you think having a missing kid in your home go missing is going to help a custody case? Because I'm sorry, that don't sound like a very good plan. Logically speaking. No, it wouldn't help, would it, Michelle? And then now you got a woman out here that decided to go to Chewy and put stock photos of a dog, of dogs, and say they're her dogs and tell all kinds of lies. It's disgusting. I'd like to make a challenge. I know probably nobody will do it. It might, hit their channel just a little bit hard. They might lose some viewers. But try going a full week being non-biased. One full week. Put the information out there that is facts only about Sebastian. Allie, do you care to drop the link where they can print off flyers for Sebastian? I had it in Discord. If we're going to make a difference, we're going to have to do it with a non-biased look at it. And let me tell you, I pay attention to every word that people say. I'm sure that Michelle would vouch for me right now. I'll catch some of the things you wouldn't think I catch. So it's not that I'm blind. But what good does speculation do for this kid? What good does it do? It's not finding him. When I go scrolling through my feeds on YouTube right now, the only thing I see is drama, and that ain't finding this kid. Everybody's talking about the drama. Nobody's talking about Sebastian. Now, if I was to give anybody any advice when it comes to the parents, stay off YouTube. Your help ain't here. They're going to decipher every word you say. Stay off YouTube. I don't care who it is talking to you. Stay off of it. You can get more done with law enforcement than you can YouTube. Exactly, Michelle. They should never say the parent's name more than Sebastian's. But you know what? You've got some that's so caught up in the drama, 95% of the time they call Sebastian Seth. Easy mistake. But if you're really focusing on Sebastian, are you going to do that? No. If this live was to drag Chris and Katie, I put their names together. Did y'all notice that? Didn't mean to. Or to drag Seth, there'd be 400 people in here wanting to see the drama. You can't get 10 in here wanting to see the truth. That tells you how much they care about Sebastian. You want to make a difference in these kids' lives, do it. But don't drag family members and say you're doing it for them, because that's a crock. Yeah, my words get mixed up every now and then, Allie. Yeah, because if people don't watch it, they'll quit. Yeah, unfortunately, it is. You had a jail? If you're going to cover this kid, cover him with facts. Dragging his parents is not helping this case. Not at all. And quite frankly, it's got a whole lot of people not even wanting to look at the live streams because all it is drama. Hey, nonsense. Hey, flies. Yeah, keep his dignity intact. I could sit here and mention 101 things that just don't seem right. But what good does that do? It starts rumors. And then before you know it, you've got a live fired up saying this happened, that happened. When in actuality, all it was people talking in a chat. Another person saw it, took it as a fact, run to another channel with it. That's how it gets started. We can speculate. Nothing hurts a case when you speculate. Don't tell me that. We've seen it happen a dozen times. And the thing about it is, and I'm telling you right now, if tomorrow they find Sebastian and it turns out that he did walk out of that house on his own and none of the parents had anything to do with it and the case is closed, not one of these tragedy pimps will be on here saying I was wrong. Not one. So I'm going to drop a link. Somebody wants to come up, then Duchess, if you want to come up, because you do know more about this case than I do. They can't even admit when they're wrong, even now. It's pathetic, and not one of them are doing a thing to help this family. And that's true. I mean, nothing that's helping the case. Not at all. Let me see her. You know, flies. Let me see her. Until you have people that are actually going to press charges, they're going to keep doing this. They are. They want to blend every case they've covered all into one. And you know what? I'm just going to put this out there. Not all law enforcement are shady. I mean, maybe you are not getting the information that you want because it would affect the case. Me too. Me too nonsense. But me too. Me too, Michelle. Because it's not. The only thing that's like Summer's case is you've got the same tragedy pimps doing the same garbage that they have been doing since Summer went missing. The only thing is they perfected it. What took them almost 3 years, they've done here in a little over 2 months. And it's not right. When you've got people out here that don't want to watch live streams because they know good and well that what is going to happen is drama. Somebody's going to be talking about the size of Chris's feet or why he's got a mattress in the garage, or goodness, use some common sense, people. Yes, he has a custody case. Do you think it looks good to have a kid go missing if you're in the middle of a custody battle? No, it don't. I don't know if they're innocent. I don't know if they're guilty. It's not my place to find out. Normally, I cover cold cases. But here's Dutchie. It's pretty sad when, what really, really bothers me? Not only are some of these people, yes, bona fide tragedy pimps, but it is almost scary knowing that they could be a juror. I wouldn't want you on my case. If, Lord forbid, I ever did anything and had to be on trial, I wouldn't want some of these people on my case. Not sitting up there judging me. Hey,
that's a scary thought,
Dutchie.
isn't it? Hey, thank you so much for inviting me up. I appreciate you talking about
this.
I
figured that you would be able to give me the timeline a little bit better than I know it, because like I said, what's on this flyer is about as good as I can recite it, and good and well I don't write no notes. So
well, when I talked to Katie, and she did say this on my live stream, and listen, people have to take into consideration that in a traumatic situation, like when things are just happening real time, people are going to react differently. So, yeah, every time that they would talk or give information, I think she probably was able to realize, like, I didn't think about this, but this might matter, but initially she may not have even thought about it. I don't think it was just an omission of that she didn't want to tell me that in a beginning, but when your brain is just going through all of those emotions and trying to think like what to do, what has happened, where's my kid, I wouldn't even know if I could remember my name at that point. And I think she did a really good job and was tried to be as calm as possible. And people just have not given this family any grace at all. I mean, and it makes me feel terrible. But, when we sat down and went over the timeline, she told me, she said, they went to BJ's and the bowling alley and Sebastian didn't go with anybody on Sunday. Like, they met, but they didn't leave the bowling alley and go together. Like, after they left the bowling alley, they went to Texas Roadhouse. Like, it was, you know, it wasn't like Sebastian left with anybody else. You know, he was always with her. And yes, there is video of him leaving the Texas Roadhouse with his mom. And they went home and he took the garbage out, you know, and there wasn't any particular situation, you know. She was studying for her classes. And yes, she was on the phone with Chris. It happened. You know, I've been on a phone call with them when we're on a conference call, and he's literally, you know, working, and he'll just like be talking to other people and doing his thing like while we're on the phone. And I'm sure that's probably how it happens, you know.
And you know, a lot of people was talking about him not being home since the beginning of February. You know, Duchess, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband's home 4 days out of the month. Sometimes to support people's family, they got to do what they got to do.
That's right. I mean, not everybody has a 9-to-5 job that's in their town. There's a lot of families that have truck drivers. There's a lot of families, like my father used to work out of town, you know, and he worked in 9 different states. There was times that he wasn't home for a couple of months at a time, you know, because he had a job to do. That's how he provided for our family. And, you know, so that's why they had the phone calls. That's how they spent time together. Listen, we can't be judging people for how they spend their time. I mean, give us some grace, you know. You know, we've just had just regular conversations. Just Chris has never mistreated me. He's always been respectful to me. Listen, he speaks his mind. I mean, he speaks his mind, and he knows he can keep it real with me, but he's never disrespected me. He's never talked down to me. He's never been belligerent to me. You know, I'm sorry that other people feel a certain type of way. But my dad's hardcore. My uncle, my grandfathers, I mean, they're military. I'm used to it. That's just their demeanor. So for me, I don't take it any particular type of way, you know.
And I get it.
They've been transparent with me. I mean, I don't feel like there's ever been a time when they didn't just answer any questions that I had, or just there's not been any reason for me to. I don't have any reason to question them. You know, that's why I said. You know, she said, one day the truth is going to come out and people will see. And I said, well, that's, you know, we have to wait on law enforcement to do their job. Sometimes investigations take time. But yes, that thud that everybody is making this big dramatic thing about. Listen, this is not this one time that this has ever happened. She said sometimes Sebastian will get out of bed and he fidgets in his room like you know, when he's supposed to be in the bed. And she said, so sometimes if I'm in here, you know, I'll have to say, you know, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you need to get in the bed. You know, that's not like that's the only time that's, you know what I'm saying? This wasn't like an awkward situation that's never happened. You know, I mean, he's a teenage kid. I mean, I get it. So, I don't think she thought it was anything relative at that time, you know, because it's just happened before, I guess. So,
and listen, people, we can have different opinions, and we can do it with class.
She told me that. I asked her, I said, you know, did you have anything to drink? Because all these people are saying, you know, you're an alcoholic. I know you've seen it. And she said, no, I was tired. You know, I work full time and I'm putting myself through college, you know, and I was studying. and I was on the phone, and it was, Sebastian was supposed to be in the bed, and I'm just trying to just kind of, she's just decompressing and also trying to study, and she's worked all day. I mean, I remember being that age and being a single mom and having to do all that and put myself through college. Like, it's no easy task, I promise you. So, I mean, people need to give these people a break. I mean, I just.
That's all.
And no, she didn't
No,
just. She didn't just. No, she didn't go in the bedroom and check. I asked her if there was something that I said, what would you change that was different about what you did the first time? And she said, if I knew that I was going to need to do it, she goes, I would have went in there and checked on him. But, why didn't I? Because, before when I have gone in there before, he's up playing with his toys in his room in the dark. I have to get him back in the bed. She goes, we've been over this. And she said, but I can't go back and change anything now. And she goes, so when I went to bed, I went to bed. Don't y'all think she beats herself up every second of the day thinking about the 10,000 things? I mean, she's got to live with this until he comes home. I mean, I can't imagine what she's going through. If you don't think that that's already not enough to make her feel like she wants her kid to be found. That's all she cares about. But all this extra stuff, maybe the things would have transpired differently, Crystal, with searching or working together with Seth or all of these things, had it not gone to level 55 with all the drama, see. But nobody could keep their mouth shut to do the right thing for Sebastian. And that's what really hurts me, is because this kid is getting lost. Everybody says they're doing it for Sebastian, but are they really?
No, they're not. They're doing it for clicks and views. Now, I'm just telling you, you know me, it's no filter Fanny time. Let me tell you.
Okay,
if you have to do a live stream every single day, if you have to do a live stream at this point once a week, because there is no new facts, let alone every single day, you are doing it for clicks and views. Don't pretend you're doing it for this kid, because you're not. I mean, I'm just being honest. And yeah, no filter Fanny. No filter Fanny nonsense comes out every now and then.
Yes, that's her. Well, she has like 5 alter egos. Can I go through them real quick? Because I have to for this. I just have to get it out because my ADHD. It's Cold Case Crystal, but it's also Crystal Connections. And then it's also Hold My Halo. It's also Crystal Case Crystal, because one time I thought that Crystal account got hacked, but it turns out that Crystal just typed in her name wrong. What else has been your name?
And it was God's Amazing Grace with Crystal.
And God's Amazing Grace with Crystal. Yes.
I've had an identity crisis. No, in all honesty, my name was Cold Case Crystal first when I first came on YouTube. Because of my uncle's case. It's a cold case. Along the way, I wasn't covering cold cases as much, so the name kind of went with it, and I just went back to cold case because that's where my heart's at. Because if we think we are impatient with waiting on answers, how would you feel if it was 34 years? Because my family knows what that feels like. Facts. We're still waiting on answers. And you know what? Yeah, me and Dutchess are friends. Me and Michelle's friends. Me and Allie's friends. We can discuss cases, and 98% of the time, we do not see these cases the same.
We don't. I promise you, being Crystal,
but we can still talk about it.
But we still talk about it, and we're still real life friends, y'all. because there we
Yeah.
can be adults. I hear her out, and then I realize, like, I didn't think about it like that. And then she hears me out and she's like, well, Dutch, I understand why you feel like that. But we consider each other's reasoning for why we feel a certain way, because at the end of the day, feelings are just that. They're just our feelings, but it's not going to solve this case, because the
No.
facts is, you got to have evidence. You've got to have the facts. That's why we have to wait on law enforcement, because get 9,000 people in a chat room together while you are tragedy pimping, and you got a pretend PR person up there with you, and you got your face plastered in the camera talking about how you got all these receipts, but you can't show them because your attorney said you can't or you'll be in trouble. I mean, we know why you're doing that, because it's a total distraction. Hey, look over here. Hey, look over here. I see what you're doing. Like that's not helping Sebastian. The
No.
best thing that
No,
anybody
it's
can
not.
do is, if you're a parent, if you're trying to do what law enforcement wants you to do, you will stand down, because I promise you, what you put out into the world, it comes back to you. I don't care what you believe. You can be a Buddhist, you can be an atheist, you can believe in Jesus like me and Crystal do. It doesn't matter. This is not a religious conversation. This is just about the way that the world works. It's just the way that it is. And I did drop it in the chat, and I'm going to go over here on my phone and I'm going to drop it one more time, because I just feel like there could not be truer words. So when you go out into your real life as well as on the internet, I just feel like everybody needs to know, whatever deeds we perform in our daily life, good or bad, we have to bear the fruits of the same. Don't forget that. Some people call it karma.
Okay. Michelle has asked a question.
Okay.
Crystal, please tell us why law enforcement would say a GoFundMe can hurt the case, please. And I'll tell y'all.
Yeah.
Do you realize that if you get money, it can exempt you from being a witness? Hold on a minute. Got a dog going crazy.
Well, I can tell you that Chris and Katie told me that law enforcement specifically spoke with them along with Seth at the same time, and told them that they were advised by law enforcement to not have a GoFundMe or to collect any type of reward fund, or to try to sell things to take money in, because it would cause people to hone in on them, and they would be attacked and vilified. And they were recommended by law enforcement to not do that. And so at that time, I was told by Chris and Katie that Seth was with them, and that they were told all at the same time, and that they made a pact that they were not going to do it. And it was how many days later? I guess like a day or two. I guess Seth's sister asked if she could make a GoFundMe since he couldn't. And he said, well, I don't see why not. And that's where it started. And I just,
And I do want to make it clear that Seth, Katie, and Chris have all three said that law enforcement said not to.
yes,
So,
that's
I
correct.
mean, and that's all three of them that said that. But let me tell y'all a little story. Here in my hometown, there was one man that unalived another man. Now, one of these guys owned a slaughterhouse. There was a woman in this case that could be a witness. The guy that owned a slaughterhouse gave that woman a hog. Do you know she was not allowed to be on the stand? Because they considered it payment for testimony. You've got to be careful when it comes to these active cases, people. There's another case that I cover religiously. And I'm not, without going into any detail, I was talking to a lady that works for my lawyer, asking her how should I address a possible interview that I have coming up. She said, if you have them on your panel and you don't know if the innocence is innocent or guilty, be sure and state. And creators, I'm telling you this to help you, please. To
Take
be
notes,
sure
girl.
and have them state that they were not paid in any form. So do it. It's not hard.
And
Because
Chrissy
if
Kate
this
will tell
goes,
you they weren't paid by me because I didn't pay them. They asked to come up. So,
I mean, I'm just saying, you know, a lot of people may not know that.
yeah.
A lot
And
of
I think
people
it's great.
may
That's
not realize exactly what they're doing that can be harming cases. And we've seen it. Lord, in Summer's case, how many people have we saw that could have been potential, even if it's character witnesses, come up on these panels? Right now, where we stand, even in Summer's case, the only witnesses that I personally could see would be the boys. I mean, because unintentionally, we can harm cases, you all. We may not even mean to.
Yeah.
And another thing that I just want to cover this because I've heard so many times, and not just this case, in a lot of cases, well, they're just not acting the way they should. Or if it was me, I would. Let me tell you something. I have been through a tragedy. Me and my
Yes,
husband
you
went through the
have.
same thing. Some of you may know it, some of you may not. But in 2005, we buried 2 kids. And it was the worst day of my life. I don't remember every minute of that day. I can give you a brief highlight. And let me tell you something else. Me and my husband went through the same doggone thing and we reacted differently. So do not tell me how somebody should act because we are not the authority on it. I can talk about it till this day. He cannot. Does that mean he didn't love our kids or that I didn't as much as the other? No. People react to things differently. We are different. It was the same tragedy. Went through the same thing. And I'm here to tell you that to this day, and that has been in August, will be 19 years. To this day, we still grieve differently. And there's no wrong way to do it. There's no manual to tell you how you should react when you go through a tragedy. There's not. And yeah, this may not be religious, but everything that I do, I base on my faith. And there is no way, knowing what I have went through, that I could ever come on a live stream and drag people's, the parents of a missing kid. Could not do it. I thank God that YouTube wasn't no big thing back then. Because I'm straight up going to tell you all, if people would have done me the way some of these families has been done, you would see a whole different character.
And it wouldn't even be no filter Fanny.
Oh
You don't
no,
want to
no
see that
filter
person.
Fanny would be a choir girl.
You don't want to see that person. I promise you that. And that's for anybody that's in the bushes that needs to know. Okay? Okay.
And you know what? We don't have to have all the facts, you all, as long as law enforcement does. That's who matters. And since No Filter Fanny is present, I'm going to tell you, if I get a private investigator, they're going to be private. The private investigator that I get, if I had a missing kid, would be able to walk up right beside my missing kid, get a good look at them without them
Mhm.
knowing they're my private investigator. Now, that's what I'm going to put my money down for. And I'm not knocking nobody because of the private investigators they got. But now, when you see people claiming to be professionals and they're up here on panel to panel to panel, I don't pay them 2 minutes worth of my time. Keyword private.
Yeah, thank you, Allie. Yes, ma'am. I know, Flies. I love her too. And I hear her a lot because sometimes she's the voice of reason. And right now, like this is these are facts, guys. What Crystal's laying down for you. I mean, everybody needs to take heed because I mean there's a reason professionals carry their way in a professional manner. There's a code of conduct, for the military, for canine handlers, for PIs, for people in the media or not in the media. There is a code of conduct and where you should act accordingly. And it seems like none of these people got the memo. Any thoughts on that, Crystal?
Well, my point's pretty plain. First of all, like I said, I'm not here to defend anybody. There should only be one side, and that's Sebastian.
I agree.
So if you're going to put something out here, make it facts. Because for the last 2 weeks, the only thing that I saw on YouTube is a whole bunch of garbage. People, one creator going after another creator. One talking about Chris's feet. That was an interesting live. One saying they're a dog handler when they ain't a dog handler. They're Googling pictures off of Chewy. Miss me with that junk. That is not helping this kid's case. If you're doing something like that, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Or if you're calling in and pretending to be the cousin of Chris Proudfoot, you need to go have your head checked. And also, if you're calling in and saying you're the neighbor and coming up with these wild stories, like, number one, why didn't you already report that to law enforcement? And where's your receipts? And if TBI's already checked your house when they came to check your house, did you not already tell them then? You mean you waited all this time and now you're going to call into YouTube to tell us that you're going to tell TBI now? All this time later? Are you kidding me? You people are a joke.
And for crying out loud, at least be consistent.
Thank you. Make it make sense.
Mean, if there's something in one case that is not morally correct, then it should apply to all cases. Earlier in this live, I said, and I will say it again, everybody's talking about JP, which I have, and I stand behind it. Man shouldn't be behind a pulpit, and I'm using only Bible to tell you that. But they're talking about how he did Micah. Pushed her to her breaking point. Let me ask you people something. What if you said something that makes one of these missing kids' parents unalive themselves? How are you going to sleep with that? Because everybody has a breaking point. And this junk is gross. You're no better than he is. You're actually a little worse. Allegedly. Not. Straight up, that's how I feel.
Wait, Flies, there's an ex-cop going around now. He was sent the TBI newsroom link.
Well, did he read it? Drop
I
that.
mean,
Drop the link for the flyer in the chat. I'm going to pin it because if there's
I did
anything that we
drop
can
it
do,
earlier,
people,
but I think you were on a tangent.
I didn't get to pin it.
Okay, hang
Somebody
on. Let me
drop it again.
here it is.
But if you're going to do something, print off some of these. Put them in your Crystal.
Is this
Do it
what it
right
is?
here.
The TBI newsroom?
Yeah, you can go there and you
Okay.
can print off some flyers. Anybody can. No, I'm not putting you in timeout. How do I pin this sucker, Duchess?
Hang on. Let me see.
I bet I gotta do it on YouTube.
Yeah, you
Go
probably
do
have to
it.
go in the studio because I can't. It won't let me pin it. Maybe if I put some emojis in front of it.
Sorry, just a second here. Oh, now it's trying to.
All right, let me see if I can click on it. 1 minute. Let's see.
There we go.
No, it won't let me do it.
Okay, at the top of the chat now is the link to the TBI newsroom. I suggest everybody actually reads it, but on there you can also print off flyers. If you want to do something to help this case, print off some. Put them in your neighborhood because we don't know where he's at, you all. You don't want to donate to a billboard? Then don't. Put up your own billboard. We could use those suckers all across the U.S. Put up your own billboard where you know where your money's going to. Then you ain't got nobody to complain about when you spend $50.
Exactly. If you don't want to give me your money, that's fine. Go make your own billboard, and I'll even send you the billboard, and you can put my billboard up, and you can be like, and I did it, blah, blah. Take all the credit, whatever. Just Google Blip billboards. Yes, Michelle, and go do it. Hey, honey. You want to come say
Yeah,
hey?
we could use them all across the U.S. Is that going to hurt Sebastian's case? Nope. Nope. And it gets his face out there. It gets his information out there. Somebody might see it and he may be right there standing. You don't know. But by all means, do something that is at least helping this kid. Because 9-hour live streams talking about other creators, talking about his parents, listening to people that ain't who they say they are, is not helping him. Right here is what it is about. And if you fire up a live stream with anything other than this kid right here on your mind about him and his name's in your title, it's tagged down there along with 50 other tags, then you're in it for the wrong reason.
Amen.
Look at the bottom of my chat. It's not monetized. Now, if people want to monetize, that's their own business. But us at least have a little class about us. Putting titles out here called pissy pants. Are you kidding me? You got a thumbnail made with it and everything. Miss me with that. That's gross.
How about Dolly making soap? Have you seen that? I mean, what kind of trash is that? Come clean, Katie soap. Are you kidding me right now? I'm so disgusted with these people. I just want to throw up.
Think about this before you fire up your next live stream. Is what I'm going to say something I would want to be said about me? Because if it ain't, keep your mouth shut. And if you can't be in the true crime community and just cover the doggone facts, Guess what? There's other communities out there. You might find yours. This one isn't it. But I would like for true crime to be what true crime should be.
Preach. If you want to go do drama,
And we
then
ain't
just go
seeing
over
that
there
no
and do
more.
that. And I'm
You may
tired of
see a
these
bunch of
backstabbing people
buddies.
too. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
can't
mean,
be
you
your
see,
friend because I'm over here being this person's friend, the one who can't stand you because this one can't stand you, and blah blah blah, and all of this. I am 50 years old. I do not have time for all of this craziness. I will just cut you out of my
you
life.
know who
Snip,
does
snip,
that? Do you know who does that junk right there?
snip.
Tries to turn you against other people when
It
that
just
person hasn't done a thing to you. You want me to tell you who does that? Middle schoolers.
mm,
Middle schoolers. They do that. They
I
do it
have
on the
never in
playground.
my life. I mean, I'm just like, can we just get over it already? Like, if you have an issue, why didn't you? Oh no, we have to. Just makes my head hurt, really.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
We all have real
Middle
lives, things
schoolers
to
do
do.
it. I have a
Yes.
teen in this house that don't cause drama as much as some grown people on YouTube that's supposed to be critically thinking.
I know. They call themselves true crimers, and we have young kids that don't even act that way. I mean, that is a whole mess.
I mean, make
I
it
don't
make
I don't
sense.
even know.
In one sentence, y'all are saying that Chris was there that day. And in the very second, that next sentence, you're saying he was 3.5 hours away. Make your mind up.
Yeah,
Make
because
your mind up.
I've heard
At
these
least be
people say all kinds of stuff.
consistent with it. I mean, for crying out loud, it's got ridiculous. It has got ridiculous.
I just don't know how it's helping any of these cases. But that's why I really don't have as many subs as some of these people. I think, golly, Nonsense found like more than 68 channels that are just basically talking trash and exploiting Sebastian's case. I think she said more than, more than 68? I mean, that is a lot. There's people's channels that I've never even heard of before that I'm just like, wow.
I will be posting occasionally Sebastian's flyer.
Please do.
But if there's no update, I won't be saying anything.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Because there's other cases that need covered.
Yes. I did the last live to crowdfund for the billboards.
And to be honest, I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I'm cold cases. That's where my passion is, cold cases. And if I'm being completely honest, there ain't much I can do to hurt those cases. So I feel pretty comfortable covering them.
You know, so if we have any updates,
probably be a one and done with me. But it's really aggravated me. It has aggravated me to death with the drama that is surrounding this kid's case. When you're talking about the drama, you ain't talking about this kid. You know, I was talking to Michelle the other day. I said, you know what's bad? I caught myself with my head with my earphones in, listening to YouTube in Walmart. And guess what? If I'm in Walmart, that's where I could potentially see Sebastian. That's my confession, y'all. Am I the only one?
No.
I mean, and if we're paying attention to this when we're out in public, when we could actually potentially see any of these missing kids, then what are we doing? You know, when I created my channel, I wanted to do what everybody else did. I was thinking, what can I do to help Summer? That was the one thing that made me want to come to YouTube, to be able to talk about Summer Wells. It did not take me but one video, and that was a challenge for everybody to put a flyer up where they live to figure out on YouTube. Not very much I can do to help. But summer changed my life for the better. Because of summer, I became a foster parent. I filled a void in my life I didn't even know was there. These kids bring me so much joy. Is it hard sometimes? Yeah, it is. But it's well worth it. Not much I can do on YouTube, but in real life, don't stack your cards against mine. You'll probably fall. My whole life is dedicated to helping kids. And I would not have it any other way. And everybody says, you know, Dutch, everybody says, don't go real life. What the crap is this? I'm sitting behind my computer, but the last I checked, I wasn't living in a fairy tale. This is real life. The words I say actually affect people.
That's right. That's real life.
So I'm going to be mindful of what comes out of my mouth.
Truth over feelings.
And you know, Dutch, I'm right. If tomorrow it came out, he walked off, and that was it, not one person will apologize. You'll have 20 live streams claiming that ain't the facts. That ain't what really happened. I guarantee he's afraid to tell the truth. I can hear that already.
Yep.
You know why? Because they can't admit they're wrong.
I know.
Nobody did a live stream over Athena. Nobody did a live stream over Chloe. Not one. I didn't see it. Did you?
No.
Nobody said, you know what? I was wrong. Turns out a kid can go missing from a tent with its parents inside of it. Nope. Nobody come out and said that. But boy, were they doing the live streams when it happened.
Debbie Martin has a comment. You want to address it? She's sharing her opinion. Thank you for being here, Debbie.
I can say my opinion is not at all popular, but I truly feel that Seth and the people he has brought to this case have just poured gas on what has turned into a dumpster fire. Well, I'll be honest with you. Some of the people that have come into this case, yes, they have. It makes me wonder, and I'm not talking about Seth, you all. I'm talking about the people that's come into this case. Look what we've had. We've had, well, was it an RSO for a diver?
Yeah.
Brothers Underwater Dutch.
Yep.
And you've got PIs that's going on YouTube channels. Let me say that correctly. You've got private investigators that's not so private on YouTube channels talking to people on a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I know a private investigator.
Me too.
And you know what? A lot of people don't. When he's
That's right.
working, nobody knows what he's doing.
Exactly. And the person that I know told me that Nobody knows where I am or what case I'm working on, and I definitely don't have a YouTube channel and go on YouTube and talk about anything that I'm working on, and you know this." And I said, "I just wanted your opinion." And he said, "It's a breach of the code of conduct." And he said, "That's all I'm going to say about it." And that was it. Because he's so private, he don't even want to have a conversation about it because it irritated him. Because it makes other private investigators look bad. Yeah, unprivate investigators, flies. It's that's what they are,
And you know
unprivate.
what? They can do what they want. These private investigators can do what they want. If they want to come on a YouTube channel and put all the things that they've collected out there, that's fine and dandy. But guess what? I'm not going to hire them.
Me either. And I'm not going to work on a missing case that they're involved in either, most likely, because, well, look where we are today. I'm just saying, this is a nightmare. Every day that I wake
Yeah.
up, I wake up to multiple messages blowing me up about all of the junk that took place because I took my medicine and went to bed like a good girl and didn't watch any of the BS because I can't get involved in all that. It's just too much stress. You know, I just want this young man to be found, Sebastian Rogers. He is the focus. That's why we have the billboards up. And you guys are so amazing for supporting that. If you don't want to support it, please go make your own billboard. And I just want to give a shout out to Crystal because she is going to be putting some billboards up for Jaden Carpenter. And that's going to be amazing also. And thank you for doing that, Crystal.
Oh, it's my pleasure to do that. I mean, Jaden's sisters, she deserves answers too. And there's a lot of cases out here that could be covered. And there is cases out here that are getting covered, you all. But guess what? You're not seeing them because of the drama.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the facts.
I haven't been live a lot lately on cases because I've just got real life stuff that I'm taking care of, but there's going to be some other cases that I need to talk about, and I always post on my.
I'm going to address this because I fool with CPS a lot. If those papers come out, CPS papers, somebody ain't doing their job.
Yeah, and I was told that Seth did say that he's not going to share them because his attorney said he would get in trouble. Well, yeah, that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
I
mean, at the beginning of Summer Wells's case, there was a alleged CPS worker that come out and said all the things that are probably junk. Because I'm going to tell you, a CPS worker can get in big trouble for telling that information. I'm a foster mom, and I wouldn't give you my kids' names. Period. You won't see them on my channel. Now, you may see my daughter on my channel because she's a grown girl and chose to be. But no, you don't give that information out. These kids have been through so much trauma in their lives. And I'm talking about this comment right here.
Allie's comment's on point
Not the CPS. But these kids have been through enough. Any kid that has been in foster care or had to go through any trauma, the last thing they need is it blasted on YouTube. And if people will do that, then they sure don't want to tell me they're here for the kids, because they're not. Yeah, I agree. Let me see.
Yeah, Allie's comment.
then what's the point of him even coming out and saying he had those papers? Allegedly, what is the point? I'll tell you, to stir the pot. And that's not right. I don't care who it is bringing information to YouTube. If you're doing it and bringing drama on this kid's case, you should be ashamed of yourself, because it's taking the
Yes.
focus off of finding him.
And
It's hurting
embarrassing
the
him
case.
is not helping. I just feel like that if they want a war with each other, they can do that off of YouTube, because that's not
Yeah.
helping find Sebastian. So,
Yeah, I
you know,
mean, and I don't care what side the stone is coming from. It don't need to be on YouTube. Point blank, period. It does not need to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't care if Abraham Lincoln is bringing it on here saying this happened and that happened to Sebastian, or it don't need to be on here. Nothing we can do with it. And I'm sure law enforcement knows all about it. Do you
But
honestly
how
think that we are smarter than law enforcement, FBI, TDI, and the Secret Service? We've
but
got that
how
smart
is
now.
but that's why they have, I heard also allegedly tonight that Tony said that they're trying to put together this place where they can crowdsource funds to pay for everything that Seth wants to have done. Like, his attorney and whatever he needs to pay to help find Sebastian. I don't know what and all. I mean, I'm sure he went into detail and I'm just like, and I guess that also includes paying Tony. I'm sure he's not doing this for free. But he does need to stick to his day job, Debbie, because this is not his forte. He is out of bounds on this play. Thank you.
People can spend their money however they want to spend their money. But from what I have saw so far, and again, I'm talking about Brothers Underwater, the PIs. How many people have we saw come in and out of this case? How many of them have been upright? What's a good word for it?
Yes, Michelle, Tony is a felon as well.
There we go.
Yes.
There's more shady characters in this case than a oak tree.
They're latching on like leaves on a tree. I mean, every time Seth stretches out his arms to flex his shoulder, it's like more people just start latching on. And it's terrible. It's like a dog trying to wean puppies. I mean, you can't get rid of them. I mean, there's just, you get rid of some of them, and then that more latch on. It's just, that's how the money keeps coming in, because if Seth stops going live and stops talking, then they're either going to turn on him and his pocketbook is going to dry up. Allegedly, in my opinion, this is just Dutch's opinion. Crystal does not co-sign anything that comes out of my mouth on this live stream. Thank you very much. I'm just calling it like I see it. Crystal, do you care to comment your thoughts? That's
my thought is, if I was a parent of this young man here on this screen, I'd get my hind end off of YouTube. I wouldn't be talking to YouTubers. I would be focusing on who matters. Law enforcement. Get a real private investigator. Whatever you have to do. But let me tell you something. Rumors has never solved nothing yet. And YouTube ain't going to. Now, if this young man was mine, I wouldn't be on here. That'd be number one, what I wouldn't do.
Exactly.
I would starve these creators that are making money off of my kid. I would starve them out.
Yep. And that's why Chris and Katie's not on YouTube. And I'm not, that's why I haven't asked them to come back and speak. Because what else do you want to hear them say? So you can beat up on them some more? I'm not going to allow that to happen. Enough is enough. I'm going to keep focusing on Sebastian. And I appreciate you addressing all of this, Crystal, because it's important. This young man is out there somewhere.
You know what the biggest tragedy in this case would be? Like I said, I cover cold cases. I don't want to cover him as one.
I don't want you to cover him one as either. No.
If you're picking a side, folks, and I'm sorry, we're seeing it everywhere. If that side ain't Sebastian, you're on the wrong side. It shouldn't be a split with the parents. It should be doing whatever you can do to help this young man right here get home. Top of the chat, you can print off flyers. Put them up.
Yep.
Like I said earlier, you don't want to donate to a billboard? That's fine. Put up one yourself. But do something besides spreading rumors and gossip, because it's doing nothing. Don't have live streams saying how, as a parent, they should be doing this and this and that and that. It's not your place to say that. If you give a Yankees dime about this kid getting home, then put his information out there. But some of you folks can fire up a live stream and never show a flyer. Not one. Or you're holding it in your hand and it's so wrinkled that it needs an iron taken to it. Flopping it around. No, get out of your seat and go out into your local community. Hang up flyers, because guess what? We don't know where he is. And I'm just going to tell you, if somebody did take him, you can bet your granny's mug that he ain't in Tennessee. So put them up wherever you're at. You don't have to be in Tennessee to hang a flyer.
That's right. He's hanging up down here in Myrtle Beach.
He's hanging up here.
Just do the right thing. It's, we
don't know where he is.
Like, just go print 10 flyers. If you need a special flyer that doesn't have that, listen, I just made this one because it has a flashy background. It gets your attention, and that's what we want on social media. If you need a flyer that's easier to print, like, just reach out to me and I'll give you one that has the accurate information. Listen, they did reach out to TBI to ask them to update the TBI flyer, but TBI has not updated the Amber Alert flyer yet. I don't have the answers, guys, as to why they haven't done that. Like, I don't micromanage the TBI. So I made my own flyer and Katie approved it. And so that's the only reason why I've made these flyers, is because I gave them to Katie and said, how does this? Yes, that's great. That's exactly what I wanted to say. That's exactly why the new billboards say what they say. And the reward is removed. Is because
Are you kidding me?
Wait a minute.
Oh
Lisa.
my goodness.
Oh, the soap guy. Lord help me. Are you kidding? Well,
Get a
I mean,
job, people. How about that? Get a job.
that is his job.
Oh,
That and making soap after missing kids' parents. Mm-hmm. Yep. Right here in the true crime community. That's right, everybody. They should call it trauma, which is true crime and drama. But instead of trauma, it should be trauma, because that's really what it is. It's trauma for these families to be treated this way. Thank you, Allie, for printing some and putting them up in Delaware. I appreciate you so much for doing that.
yeah, that's how we make a difference, people.
Right there. Because you
This
don't know.
junk, I mean, I could say so much, but
Yeah. Michelle has a good comment too. This is their job. Remember, if Betty couldn't make it to Tennessee, she would only have 13 cents in her bank.
yep, and that came out of her mouth.
I felt like there was a lot of prayers that went up to helping her car to actually break down and not make it there for an extended period of time. I'm just saying, I believe in the Holy Spirit in these moments. You know, there's a reason
I'll
for
tell you
everything.
what, talking about the Holy Spirit, how would you feel if you passed away and you were doing this junk? How do you think your Lord would look at you? You
Girl.
going to tell me? Are you going to tell me he's going to let somebody in that thrives off this? Because you've got to have a little bit of evil in your heart to come up with some of the conspiracies that these people come up with.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I worry about some of the creators worse than what they're talking about, because they can actually think up of this junk.
Or maybe we should have a YouTube creator revival so we can get them to come in and get their life right. Give them a chance before the Lord
Revival or
does come
nothing.
back.
Some of them have to meet Jesus first. They got to know him first. Some
Well,
of them
that's
knows his name, but don't know his
well, maybe we
spirit.
need to have an
Some
altar
of them
call.
some of them don't know what it's like to bridle their tongue. The Bible tells you to do that.
That's right. Amen to that.
And then they want to say, let's keep praying. I'm sorry, but your prayers ain't going no further than the roof if that's how you conduct yourself.
Preach
You need
that.
to pray for yourself before you can pray for anybody else. Some of this junk is ridiculous.
Don't be nitpicking Bible verses and pick it out and then post it on your Facebook wall and go
Gagging at
about
a
your
gnat and
day.
swallowing a camel. That's what the Bible says. They gag at a gnat and swallow a camel. Think of that statement right there. Act like the little things make you sick while you're eating all kinds of junk.
Yeah. Acting
then
like
sit
you're
back
so
and-
mad, what you think you know is the truth that you don't even know is the truth in these cases, and then going after people and saying, I've seen people in chat saying, I wish they'd die. They're murderers. I wish they'd go to prison. Why aren't they arrested? Just saying some of the most heinous things, wishing death on these people. I mean, like I said, be wary of people.
Well,
and
they're a murderer in their own heart then.
You'll know them by their fruits. I promise. If you just sit back and watch people, you will know them by their fruits.
And you all, I'm going to tell you something. And it may step on a lot of people's toes, but frankly, right now, I don't give a snot. You don't have to fire a live stream up to be stirring the pot. When you're down here in the comments, feeding it, you're as bad as the person that fired it up.
It's like hate bonding. I've never seen so many people hate bonding in my life. Like people that I thought were actually decent people that are over there supporting creators that are spewing the most heinous lies and they're in there cheering them on. I've seen some people that I actually liked saying some pretty wow. I mean, just my mouth was just, I was like, I can't even believe this right now. I was mortified at some of the comments I saw people saying. And I'm like, damn, this is rough. Hey, Baton Rouge. Debbie says, these people use jail Jesus for more money and clicks. Well, we've seen that before. Yeah.
But you know what? I got a feeling there's a whole lot, if they don't change their ways, we'll hear, depart from me, you worker of iniquity, for I never knew you.
Those powerful words right there.
You cannot sit back and spew some of the things that I have saw in this case and claim you love the Lord. You can't. You know what? And some people may not like this, but I don't care. I'm not popular, no way. If they come out tomorrow and they had a book of evidence against all three parents, if you're a real Christian, you'll still be praying. You'll still be praying for them.
Yep.
But to stand back and spew all this garbage when there is no facts, why? What does it help? Don't say you're doing it for Sebastian, because you're not. You're not. You're hurting him. You're hurting his case. You're hurting the chances of him being found.
And you ain't got to be law enforcement to know that. It's just common damn sense.
Sebastian was 15 years old. He had autism. He's a Caucasian male who was reported missing February the 26th of 2024 from the Stafford Court area of Hendersonville, Tennessee. He has sandy brown hair. He's 5'5", weighs 113 pounds according to his last checkup. Brown eyes. He may be wearing glasses, and he's barefoot. And while he's out here missing, half of you are making up. I'm not talking about the people I see in this chat, but half of you that will come back and be nosy are spreading some of the awfulest lies you ever heard.
Yeah.
And ruining his case. Most of you contributing to the things that could potentially keep this kid from coming home. It isn't our job to decide the innocence or the guilt. If you've got a channel and you want to put out correct, accurate information, do it. But crying out loud, you tell me one thing that the size of Chris Proudfoot's feet has to do with getting this kid home.
or his private parts. Why do we even have to take it
Well,
there?
I don't even want to go. I don't even want to think along those lines.
I mean,
That's
it's
just
just
gross.
trash. I mean, who thinks like this? And you people support that? I can't. I have to really kind of side eye people. I can't even wrap my head around some of the things that I've seen. And please stop putting Katie's picture on missing flyers. I just wanted to quickly just say that if you go to my community wall, I did share Chasing Tracy and Chasing Truths community post that said, if by any chance you agree with the post below and are subscribed to me, unsub, go find your people. They ain't here. And it has a picture of Smiley Stories World with Katie's picture on a missing poster. And I just want to let everybody know that if you are subscribed to me and you support that trash, you should just unsubscribe. Because I really just I'm to that point where you must not really take these cases seriously. And how are we going to work together to find the missing? You can't really. This is the fence riding day is like, I mean, I feel like it's coming to a close. Like this has gotten so out of hand. I just feel angry.
Who's starting a 501c?
I
Because
think
now,
that's
folks,
what
I'm telling you, when I say I see a whole lot of nonsense, I don't stay there. Like misinformation, bunch of speculation. Dutch will tell you in the last little bit, Dutch, if I talk much about Sebastian's case at all, it probably shocked the far out of you that I did this live. Am I wrong?
you're not wrong. I said I'll be there. Oh yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty bad when every live you go in, you're trying to find facts out about this case and you don't get none.
Yeah.
Tony said he was so donations can be tax deductible. Well, what's Tony thinking? Half these tragedy pimps probably ain't even doing their taxes right. Yeah. I don't understand this. I really don't. And I'd like to say that all these people covering Sebastian has his best interest at heart, but that's garbage too. If they were, they wouldn't be running their cash apps.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be their priority. They wouldn't be doing live streams every day when there is no new information. Think about that. Live streams every doggone day. When was the last time you saw a press release?
April the 25th.
But we've got private investigators, PR people, and fake dog handlers, some real dog handlers. But the fact is, they're all on panels. So how is one any better than the other?
We currently have another one that I'm still very not happy with right now, who's live and going digging into more real life stuff on the family, putting out more information. I mean, can you please just leave these people alone?
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Um,
I
like I
just,
said, you all, I don't know. I don't know who's guilty. I don't know who's innocent. I don't know that there's anybody to be guilty or innocent. But you know what? Y'all don't either. No, I didn't do this live stream to protect Chris and Katie. I didn't do that. Or to protect Seth. I did this live stream because it's getting pretty bad when you go looking for information and all you see is garbage. I'm my own person. I'm going to say things because that's how I feel about it. Nothing I'm saying, am I saying that Duchess agrees with me 100%? No. Duchess is her own person, and I'm my own person. Michelle and
yes,
Allie are their own person. We're all individuals. We have the right to think the way we want to think. But let me tell you something. I'm going to look at the facts and make the decisions for myself. Just a second. Sorry, that was a kid. But I'm going to think the way I'm going to. I'm going to look at the things and decide for myself. But that's not what we're seeing on YouTube. We're seeing mobs of people for Katie and Chris. We're seeing mobs of people against Katie and Chris. That's for Seth. And if I'm being completely honest, the parents ought to all be standing on the same side of the fence, in my opinion. It shouldn't be two sides. I'm on this team. I'm on that team. Well, I'm on Sebastian's team. I'm about as non-biased as it comes. I can understand. Yep. Baton Rouge says sometimes I'm more angrier than Chris at times. Yep. I do too.
yeah. It's a lot. It's it's been heavy on my heart. It's hard for me to even get the energy up to talk about other cases because my mindset, just trying to process all the things that are happening in these cases. That's why I just keep making flyers and keep sharing cases and just trying to get things done in my real life. But all of these cases matter. There's so many people that I've covered in the past. I'm going to be, talking about some of their cases like Jaden Carpenter and other cases that I've covered. We're still waiting on DNA and Amber Ray Johnson. There's tons of other cases that have still, they're becoming cold cases.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad that these people are not getting the resolution that they deserve because the not knowing is the worst part. I know that seems really harsh because if they don't come back and they're not with us anymore, that's still very hard. But to me, I think the not knowing if they are deceased, if they've passed on, did they suffer? Are they still out there alive somewhere? Like I just can't imagine that. That that would that would probably break me.
Me too, Dad.
Not knowing if somebody was hurting my family member, my kid.
You know, people, if you saw somebody at Walmart, put a one in chat if you can remember when your kids was little. They just took off, got under something, whatever, at Walmart. Maybe for a split minute, they got out of your sight and you panicked. If that has ever happened to you, put a 1 in chat. Now imagine you didn't find them. What if they locked that Walmart up and everybody in it just came up to you and started going at you? What'd you do to that kid? How could you lose that kid? Put a 2 in chat if you would do that. I wouldn't. You know what I would do? If I saw a mother that had lost her kid, and whether it be at Walmart, in the park, whatever, I'm going to go start looking. Because that's what a decent human being does.
Exactly.
Not one of these people would stand around and question somebody that just lost their child in Walmart. You know why? Because they got to get on behind a keyboard and do it. Because in Walmart, to question somebody, you'd look like a jerk. And 9 times out of 10, you would have sympathy for these parents. You wouldn't be tearing them apart. If you got any bit of goodness in you, you'd be looking for that kid. So why are we not doing it on here?
That's a really good question.
And let me tell you something. When you start spreading misinformation, you've destroyed the case. You've got cops that's going to have to follow up on leads that people send in that's just off the wall, when they could be looking at leads that actually might mean something. Prime example. We had the flashlight theory. One of the first ones that went out there. I think did I not say, Duchess, that was empty pixels? It was a light. Just like a light shining at something. It's empty. Okay. Anyways, you got Gray Hughes that did a video that explains it to where a 2-year-old can understand it. And then people still go through the theory. I see a video. Is somebody fighting in that light? No.
No, I've never. I mean,
No.
I am not going to zoom in on some dot on the page and then be like, oh, look at don't watch this part, but watch this part. Look, somebody's holding somebody down on the ground while somebody in a bun is that. I'm sorry. My eyesight is already stretched with these bifocals, and I cannot get on board with this craziness. I mean, is this what we're down to right now? Is that we've got to dig that deep into the BS to come
And you
up
know
with
what? How scary is it that some of these people, unless they get real lucky, or should I say the person gets real lucky, but unless they get real lucky, will one day sit on a jury and decide whether somebody is guilty or innocent? Let that sink in.
Are they going to reasonably look at the facts, or do you think they're going to sit in there?
They don't know how to look at the facts, Duchess. No.
Can you imagine them on the jury?
Crew that we're saying, I'll tell you what would happen.
They put out their cash app.
Could be on trial, we'll say, for something as minute, and I'm going to use something crazy, so bear with me, as breaking the neighbor's solar light. You put half of these sleuths that we have on YouTube in the jury box, and I would almost guarantee you that back in the room when they're talking, they're going to say, no, he didn't just fall over that. Didn't just fall over that. He was drinking, drove his truck, hit over a log, wiped out 5 people. I mean, they'll have theories that's off the wall. Stuff didn't even make it in the courthouse. Am I wrong?
I can just see the live
To
stream
me,
now.
that's scary. That is scary that these people could be on a jury to decide somebody's fate. You'd go there
It's
for a
kind of making
speeding
me
ticket if they
lose.
turned it in Grand Theft Auto.
It makes me lose faith in humanity a little bit because there's just, it's just so many people that are buying into this. I don't know. It's bizarre to
Well,
me.
I mean, when you look at the people that get on a bandwagon and just swallow everything that a creator says, I'm just being blunt because no filter Fanny has showed up here today. I'm going to be honest with you. I would rather wipe my hind end with a cactus than have any of them as a jury member.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason, it's an ouch, but I would. I'm telling you, it's
It's
ridiculous.
where we are. Yeah.
You know, America, we got innocent until proven guilty, but that's not what we're seeing.
Nope.
In all these cases, you say guilty until you prove to me you're innocent. But do keep in mind, what goes around comes around.
That's right.
You know, God has a sense of humor.
He sure does. What you put out in the world will come back around to you. If you put out good, it'll come back to you. You put out bad things, well, it's probably going to come back to you. So these people are treading on thin ice, in my opinion. I don't have to be the judge and jury on them. I'll just let Jesus do it.
I'm gonna tell y'all, listen, yeah. How can they win right now? If they had a GoFundMe out, and I'm talking about Chris and Katie in this situation, because if I'm being honest, that's the people that get drugged the most on YouTube. And they were out searching, everybody would be talking about that GoFundMe. And like I said, this door don't swing 2 ways, not on YouTube. But because Chris chose to go back to work, well, that's strange behavior too. I mean, I'm sorry, but your bills don't stop coming in. They don't.
That's right.
And in one sense, everybody wants to say corruption of law enforcement. Right now, if Chris Proudfoot had as much influence as YouTube would like to say, that man be running for president. And it wouldn't even matter because evidently he can fix everything. So he'd be elected. Because evidently he's been able to fool Secret Service, TBI, FBI, law enforcement. He's got all them people in his pocket, according to these conspiracy theories. Do you know how many individuals that he would have to brainwash in order to make that possible? So they want to say he's got everybody in his pocket, law enforcement is corruption, and at the same time, with the same token, Seth's great because he's in law enforcement. Make it make sense. Explain that to me. And I ain't got nothing against any of them. Not pointing a finger at any of them, because that ain't my job to do. I'm talking about what don't make sense with some of these theories. One of the biggest one being had to get him out of the way. He was going to testify. Really? You think that looks good? Have a missing kid and you're going to for a custody battle? That don't look right.
Yeah.
So what if Sebastian just walked off? Or what if he got a friend online? Those make more sense to me than half this garbage people's been putting out. Both of them very plausible. It don't have to be so deep. Do you think, Duchess, it's possible? Put a 1 in chat if you think it's possible that Sebastian got up and walked out. And trust me, I know what Chris and Katie said. He's not a runner. I know what Seth said. He's not a runner. Guess what? No kid that's ever run was a runner before they run.
That's right. There's not like an age limit, like it has to happen by a certain age. Every kid may have their first time. You never know when that's going to be. There's a first time for everything right now.
Yeah, kids do run all the time.
Let me go let the pup out. I'll be right back.
Okay. I mean, is it possible? I think it is. I also think that it's possible he had more leniency at Seth's and could have met somebody online. I pay attention to every word, you all. Just because I don't talk about every word does not mean I didn't catch it. When they were young. Yeah. I mean, it's possible. It is just as possible that he walked off as it is that Chris came home, did something, lost his temper, whatever y'all wanting to say. I mean, to me, that's just as possible and probably makes more sense. And then you got half the people saying, well, he was autistic. Yes, he was. But by all means, do not count him out. Since I've been doing foster care, I've had quite a few kids in my house. Yes, some's been autistic. None of them have been the same. And almost every one of them had a genius side to them. I said that since the day one. And I can only talk about what I know and what I saw. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, you had people wondering if he was able to lock the doors at the beginning of this. Well, yeah, he was. But then, I mean, you got people that's comparing it to Summer Wells' case, too. I mean, there's 10 years difference there. Summer was 5, he's 15. Big difference. What if the waitress at Waffle House had a boyfriend that wasn't a nice guy? He could have gotten her to call him. So you never know. You absolutely never know. And kids are cruel these days. Is it possible? Well, the kids said, hey, let's walk to school. Something could have happened that way. Could have. A lot of things could have happened. We don't know. What we know is they came home that day. At 9 o'clock, he went to bed. 10 o'clock, she heard a thump or whatever in his room. According to Duchess, because she talked with Katie, that was normal. I understand that. I've had to go several times and say, hey, you need to get in the bed. But the fact is, next morning, he wasn't there. And since then, we've heard everything from hiding under cars to neighbors saying he was sprayed with a pressure washer. Let me ask y'all, have you ever sprayed your own self with accident with a pressure washer? You don't think that'll leave a mark?
Okay, I'm back.
It don't just tickle you all.
You know, the funny thing about the pressure washer thing, Chris and Katie don't own a pressure washer. I've always thought that was very interesting when people, this fake cousin came up and was saying how they saw Chris spray him with the pressure washer. They haven't owned a pressure washer. So that was very, very interesting to them that somebody saw that. They would like to see the video of that because they've not borrowed anybody's pressure washer or own a pressure washer. The more you know.
Well, even if they did own a pressure washer, let me tell you, sometimes I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. And I know where I live. I live like 9 miles back from nowhere. No man's land, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So 95% of the time I wash my vehicle out here in the driveway. I had dirt on my feet one time.
Mm-hmm.
Thought I was going to spray it off, the mud off my feet, and I had flip-flops on. It felt like the cat o' nine tails done went across my feet, you all, and left a spot. I had to wear them flip-flops for about a week or two because it about pulled the hide off the top of my foot. And he sprayed him down with it? No, he would have had marks. He would have had marks. And if he had marks, then my question would be, why didn't Seth report that? He saw him every other week.
Yeah.
Just playing devil's advocate here.
I agree.
And people wanting to come out now pretending like they're neighbors and they knew this about abuse and that about abuse. Where were you when he first went missing? I want to see where you told law enforcement that. I'll wait. Are you going to get on a stand and swear to it? Because that's exactly where you could end up, you and your lying self.
Yep. Of course, I'm going to jump back down into chat so I can go in here and take the dog. She wants to go back outside, so I'll need to do that and go get me something else to drink. But I'll be down in the chat. So thank you for having me up. I appreciate you so very much.
Thank you for coming up. I'm about to get off here myself.
Okay. I love you, sis. Thank you, everybody in chat.
Love you. You all, my point is, if you haven't got facts, don't put it out here. It's useless. Pretending that you're somebody you're not, whether that's a dog handler or a neighbor, it hinders this investigation. And more than anything, people use your own line of thinking. You done fine with it for years. Why depend on what a creator says? Now we're going to get back to some cold cases on here. But trust me, if people are wanting to do live streams and put out that kind of garbage, then chances are they're not for Sebastian. Because it's not helping anything. No, I'm not on one side or the other. I mean, if it's a tug of war between Chris and Katie and Seth, I won't touch that rope. I'll be sitting over here on Sebastian's side. Because that's who matters right now. He is what matters. And the more that people want to speculate and create drama and rumors and clicks and views, dropping that cash app, rolling it at the bottom of the screen, it ain't helping nothing. I wouldn't give you 2 cents for something like that. I'll take facts over fiction any day. And no, I'm not just talking about doing live streams. I'm talking about being down in the chat, stirring all kinds of mess too. Because that's how it starts. This kid right here is what matters. And I'm afraid that the focus has been lost off him. That's why I've done this live stream. Let's get it back to him. Sebastian was a 15-year-old autistic Caucasian male. He was reported missing on February the 26th of 2024 from the Stanford Court area of Hendersonville, Sumner County, Tennessee. Sebastian is 5'5", weighs 113 pounds as of his last checkup. He has sandy brown hair, brown eyes, and may be wearing glasses. Sebastian was last seen on February the 25th, 2024 at 9 p.m. when his mom saw him go into his room. He was wearing long sleeve black shirt with a picture on the front of it. Black track pants with a white stripe down the sides and no shoes. Now, if you have any information, any credible information, don't come to YouTube. Don't tell your friends. Just call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Get that information to the people that can do something with it. People, it takes zero effort to be a good human being. I love y'all. Thank you all for being here. I know I haven't got to address all the comments in chat, but let's keep the focus on this kid. These people get these clicks and views because we go in there and watch it. You know, personally, I don't want to contribute to that. I want to be part of the drama. I'd like to see this kid covered correctly. At the top of the chat, you'll see the TBI newsroom is pinned. Do something constructive. Print off them flyers. Put them up in your neighborhood. I realize everybody can't go to Tennessee, but we don't know where he is. There is billboards Duchess has put up. But if you're not comfortable with contributing to those billboards, I encourage you to go on blip.com, create your own, and put it up anywhere. Let's see if we can't get his face all over the U.S. Make it impossible to miss him if he's walking around out there. You know, everybody was dead certain that one of these parents had did something to him, and then a picture popped up. Could possibly be him. Now it since then has came out that that wasn't him. But the fact is, the very people that were acting like nothing else could have happened except for one of these three parents did something to him was claiming that could be him. Make that make sense. Yeah, Allie. Drama free people do better for Sebastian for anyone in the bushes. That is the truth. Let's put it up here so they can read that. You know, the drama may bring everybody to your channel. But is that what it's about? Is that what matters to you? If it's truly about this kid, then let's get the focus back on him. Because lately, and you all, like I said, I cover cold cases. But lately, when it comes to finding information on Sebastian, and I've looked, all I saw is drama. And that's just coming from somebody that was looking for information on this case. So that tells you what's out there. This creator's doing this, that creator's doing that. I don't give a hill of beans what another creator is doing, as long as they're putting facts out. Don't be a part of the problem. Print off flyers, put them up. Do something. But don't put gasoline on the fire when it comes to this. Like I said, this is probably a one and done with me, because it's got so disheartening. When you don't even want to watch a live stream because you know what's going to be in it. The thumbnail tells you all about it. We don't They don't have to give us anything. They are not obligated to give us anything. Let law enforcement do their job. And if you can't cover his case with dignity, then don't. Don't cover him at all. There's gaming channels. Go watch one. Log off completely. Sometimes you got to do that for your own mental health. But don't get so wrapped up in it that you're creating the problem. I saw a YouTuber earlier today, and she's well known for not having a job. She's actually said that YouTube was her job. Most of you know who I'm talking about. Ask Katie to get a job. Are you kidding me? You mean to tell me, while you've got this woman's son on your thumbnail, making money off the fact that he is missing, you're going to talk about this woman's job? How about you log off and get you a job? Because you're clearly not doing a very good job at the one you say you have. That's absolutely the truth. They don't owe YouTube anything. And to the parents, again, stay off YouTube. It's not helping. It's not. I love y'all. Thank you for being here. It takes zero effort to be a good human being. Here in the next week, 2 weeks, Jaden Carpenter's sister Vanna is going to be on my channel. If you all can join me, I'd really appreciate it. And me and Allie are going to be covering the Black Dahlia. And that case is very, very interesting as well. It's a cold case. But y'all, if you don't do anything, if you don't print off a flyer, if you don't put up a billboard, pray for this kid. If you're not a praying person, do what you do, but do it do it with positivity. Love y'all. I'm gonna play an outro. And I'll be seeing you all later.